In this video, I will tell you about Layer States Manager and Layer Walk tools. So let's start with the Layer States Manager. So in this case, we have this drawing and most of the objects in this drawing are assigned on different layers. For example, the dim layer for the dimensions and the text layer for the text. Also hatch layer for these hatches. We also have a C line or the construction line layer for these construction lines. Now there may be situations when we want different states of layer in which the behavior of layer are quite different and we may need to preserve that state. To make this clear, I'll make a couple of layer states. So expand this layers panel and click on this push pin. So that will keep this layers panel always open. Now here we have this layer states manager drop down. Now click on this drop down and you'll see this new layer state and also the manage layer states option. So select this new layer state first and give it a name. So I'll name it as all active. So that's simply the name of current state of layer. I'll click on OK, and now this state of layer is saved, in which all the layers are on, all the layers are not frozen, they are unlocked, and they have these conditions of these colors and all the other settings. So that's simply a layer state which is now saved as all active. Now let's make some changes in this state. So I'll click on this drop down and I'll turn off some of the layers. So I'll turn off the dim layer and I'll also turn off this hatch layer. Now we have dim and hatch off, and let's save it as a new state. So I'll click on this drop down and I'll click on new layer state. So let's type dim dash hatch off. Okay, so these two are off. Now click on OK. So we have this second layer state. Now let's go to this drop down and once again change the layer state. So I'll turn both of these on, and this time I'll simply lock the dim layer and I'll also lock the construction line layer. Now let's save this state. So go to this layer states, new layer state, and let's type lock as the name. So that's all. Now click on OK. So we have these three layer states which are saved here: all active, dim, hatch, and lock. And when I move my cursor over these layer states, you will be able to see a preview of what the condition of layers were when they were saved in these states. So in all active, all of the layers are active. And if you want to see this layer state, simply click on it and all of the layers will become active. Now if you want to see the second layer state in which dim and hatch layers were off, simply select it, and now we have dim and hatch layer off. So simply you can toggle between different layer states using this layer states drop down. If you want to manage more about these layer states, click on this manage layer states, and now we have more options. For example, if you want to change the name of any of these layer states, simply select that and click on rename. So I'll rename it as dim lock and click anywhere to change the name. So this has been changed. Now if you want to export this, you can also export it and you can also import them. The layer states file are saved with LAS extension, so you can obviously use them. So let's now close this and let's get back to the all active layer state. Now we also have another tool which is Lay Walk, which is helpful in managing a long list of layers. So the Lay Walk tool can be found here. So here we have this Lay Walk. You can also use its command equivalent Lay Walk. So let's select this Lay Walk tool. But before selecting that, I'll just move my drawing towards left and now click on this Lay Walk. So this will open this layer walk window. Now in this window, you'll notice that all of these layers are present and they are all active, as you can see here with the blue selection. But now only the text layer has been active. So using this lay walk, you can make a selection of the layer. So I'll make all of them active first, and now all of these layers are visible. Now let's say that you want to see a couple of layers. For that, you can selectively click on those layers. For example, we want to see only the dim layer. So click on the dim, and only the objects which are on dim layer will be visible and rest of them will become invisible. Similarly, you can click on any other layer and only the object of that layer will be visible. If you want to select multiple layers, you can press and hold Control key and click on multiple objects, and the objects of that layer will be visible. In a large drawing, it becomes very difficult to find out the exact layer of an object. So for those cases, you can also select this option. So at first, let's select all of these objects. So all of these layers, now they're active. Now let's select this pick box and now select the objects. So we have selected the dimension, and let's select the C line object and now press enter. So now only these two objects will remain visible, and you will be easily able to identify the layers which are currently active using this layer walk. Now if you don't want to keep this state, then you can select this restore on exit and close it, and then all the layers will return back to their original condition. But if you want to keep that state, then select the layer walk and select the layers here, and now uncheck this restore on exit option. And now this condition or this state will be retained. So let's click on continue when this warning message appears. And here we have it. The condition has been retained here. So let's once again turn on all of these inactive layers. And let's click on this push pin to release the layers panel. And that was all about layer states and layer walk tool of AutoCAD.